You know that feeling when you think you've let something go, but somehow it still has a grip on you? It's funny. We often think of letting go as, giving away our stuff. But what if real freedom isn't about what we give away on the outside, but what we give up on the inside? Well, today, we're diving into an incredible ancient story that gets right to the heart of that very question.
So, let's set the scene. Picture this, it's over 2,000 years ago. The Buddha is walking through a grove and he meets this man, Potaliyya. And Potaliyya, well, he's feeling pretty pleased with himself. He was a wealthy guy and he's just handed over his entire fortune and business to his kids. In his mind, he's renounced everything. He's done with the worldly life. Or so he thinks.
The Buddha walks up, offers him a seat, and calls him Gahapati. Now in Pali, Gahapati means householder. It's a title for a man with a family, with property, someone who is right in the thick of worldly affairs. So for a guy who thinks he's left all that behind, this isn't just a simple hello. It's a major challenge to his whole identity.
And yet, Potaliyya is immediately offended. He just snaps back, saying it's totally wrong for the Buddha to call him a householder. You can almost hear the anger in his voice, right? He's thinking, I've cut all my ties, all my business deals are done. He sees himself as this simple renunciate. But the Buddha, he sees something much, much deeper that Potaliyya can't.
And this, right here, is where we get to the core of the teaching. The Buddha is about to explain that there are two totally different ways to think about letting go, or as the text calls it, vorhara, which means the cutting off of worldly affairs. Potaliyya has one version in his head, but the Buddha is about to blow that wide open.
See, for Potaliyya, letting go is all external. He's basically saying, hey, I gave my money away, I'm not the boss anymore. For him, it's just a change in social status. But the Buddha's view, it's completely internal. He says true letting go is about abandoning the mental habits that cause suffering, things like greed, anger, craving. It's not a change on your balance sheet, it's a change in your mind.
So Potaliyya may have gotten rid of his fortune, but he absolutely has not let go of the cravings and attachments that came with it. And this is the real danger the Buddha wants him and all of us to see. But to really make the point stick, he doesn't just give a lecture. Oh no. He uses a series of 7 incredibly powerful warnings about the true nature of sensual desire, or kama. And this is really the climax of the whole story. The Buddha lays out 7 similes, and each one is this vivid, unforgettable picture of why clinging to worldly pleasures is such a dangerous game. This isn't just some abstract philosophy. These are gut-level warnings, so let's break them down, one by one.
Okay, first up, the bare bone. The Buddha says sensual pleasures are like a meatless, blood-smeared bone tossed to a starving dog. The dog just gnaws and gnaws, wearing itself out completely. The only thing it tastes is the blood from its own mouth. It never, ever gets any real nourishment. The message here is crystal clear. Chasing these kinds of pleasures is exhausting, and it will never, ever truly satisfy you.
Second, they're like a scrap of meat that a vulture is carrying. The second it gets that meat, all the other birds start attacking it, trying to rip it away. The only way for the vulture to get any peace is to drop the meat. And our attachments are exactly the same. They just attract jealousy, conflict, and competition. The only real way to be safe is to just let them go.
Now, the third one is really intense. Desire is like a torch made of dry grass that you're carrying against the wind. If you don't drop it, and I mean immediately, the flames are just going to blow back and burn you. It's such a powerful image of how self-destructive clinging is. The longer you hold on, the more certain it is you're going to get hurt.
And if you thought that was intense, the fourth warning really turns up the heat. Sensual pleasures, the Buddha says, are like a giant pit of burning coals. Just imagine being dragged toward it. You'd fight with every ounce of your strength, right? Because you know falling in means horrible pain. Well, that's what the Buddha is saying is the inevitable destination of a life chasing raw desire.
The fifth simile kind of shifts gears. Now, pleasures are like a beautiful dream. You're in this amazing place with gorgeous parks and lakes, and then you wake up, and it's all gone. There is nothing real there to begin with. This just perfectly captures the fleeting, almost ghostly nature of so much worldly happiness. It's here one second, and poof, it's gone the next.
Oof, this next one really hits home for a lot of us. The Buddha says pleasure is like borrowing a bunch of expensive jewelry and then parading it around town. Yeah, everyone might think you're rich and successful, but you're living with this constant gnawing anxiety that the real owners could show up and demand it all back at any moment. So much of what we think we own, our status, our looks, even our health, are really just borrowed goods.
And the final warning, imagine you've climbed a tall tree that's just loaded with delicious fruit. You're way up there, having a great time. But then, some other guy walks up with a big axe and just starts chopping at the base of the tree. If you don't scramble down fast, you're going to come crashing down right along with it. It shows just how vulnerable we are when we make our happiness depend on things outside of ourselves.
So after this incredibly intense, and let's be honest, kind of terrifying list of warnings, the Buddha doesn't just leave Potaliya hanging. He shows him the way out. He describes the state of mind that is the real cutting off of worldly affairs, the ultimate antidote to all this danger. This state is called upekkha, or equanimity, and it's so important to get this right. This isn't about not caring or being indifferent. It's a very sharp, very stable state of awareness. It's a mind that can see pleasure and pain, success and failure, praise and blame, but it isn't thrown off balance by any of it. This is the real letting go. Not getting rid of your things, but letting go of your mind's reactive grip on them.
All right, so think about this journey. We started with an offended man so proud of giving his stuff away, went through 7 terrifying images of desire, and landed at this idea of profound inner peace. So the big question is, how does this all land with Potaliya? Let's bring his story full circle.
I mean, this is the real moment of truth, isn't it? Has the Buddha's completely different definition of letting go actually managed to break through Potaliya's pride? Does he finally see the gap between giving away his wealth and truly giving up his attachments?
And the answer is a huge, resounding yes. Potaliya's anger just melts away, and it's replaced by this deep reverence. He says the Buddha's teaching is like setting something upright that was upside down or showing you something that was hidden. His entire world has just been flipped right side up. He finally gets it.
And in that moment, Potaliya transforms from a guy who thought he knew everything into a humble student. He fully admits his mistake and takes refuge in the Buddha and his teachings. He understands now. He sees that real freedom isn't found in an empty house, but in an unburdened mind.
And that's what makes this ancient story feel so incredibly modern. It forces us to turn around and ask ourselves, what are we clinging to? Maybe it's not money. Maybe it's our reputation, or our tightly held opinions, or our plans for the future. The question this sutta leaves us with is a powerful one. What borrowed goods are we showing off in our own lives, secretly terrified of the day they'll be taken back?